on it. And we started out with 75 minutes. I think we're down to 65. And I'm very excited. I'm gonna ask each of the panelists to introduce themselves, the firm that they're with, and what their China strategy is. And then I have a series of questions which I will focus on. They come in 5.
Co-founders of eBay. So we have one client, and we manage a multi-billion asset portfolio. So far, we've been building a scenario-based portfolio of mostly managed funds for the last 5 years. And in the last year and a half, we've been focused on investing directly into companies as well. For China, we've been fortunate in that we've had a long history of relationship, culturally, socially, and professionally, from our group of 10 investment professionals. First investment in China has been in a fund since 2000, and since 2003 and 2004, we've been systematically looking at investing in China from a multi-asset class approach. So far, we've invested in 4 mostly venture funds in both early stage and late stage. We have not been investing in venture funds in China since last August, and have been trying to take a look at some of the other asset classes that may become ready for our investments and criteria. So that's us.
Great, thank you so much, Alan. And Chip Sun was with GIC. He invested.
We certainly can't kind of contend with the billions right now. We've kind of knocked out a few digits. So basically, Axiom Asia is a new Asia-focused fund of funds. It's actually pretty new. Today is actually the 8th day of its existence. It's really formed by 3 people from GIC, the Government of Singapore Investment Corporation. So our belief is between the 3 of us, we have 30 years of private equity experience, both in Asia and the US. And we've been doing just for the Singapore government. So we thought, why not kind of take what we have learned, working for the Singapore government, and offer this as a service to LPs who are interested in the fund of funds in the wider world. So that's kind of what we are and why we left. In terms of my personal background, I've been with GIC for more than 12 years, and I've run a few of GIC's private equity departments. The most recent is the Global Venture Capital Program. Before that, I was head of direct investments for Asia, and before that, I was head of North American private equity. In terms of our strategy for China, well, for Axiom, Greater China, including Taiwan, would probably represent the largest allocation for our fund. We think that, right now our thoughts is it could be somewhere in the 1/3 to 40% type range. And then it'll be followed by Japan and India. And this is just simply, scaling into the size of the market. In terms of our experience from GIC, I personally was a founding member of GIC's Greater China team in 1993. We made our first investments in China from '94, a very humbling period to invest before the Asian crisis. So we hope, we have some, we are a bit humbled from the pre-crisis experience. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And then Melissa is also out formerly with Hillman.
Asia Alternatives was launched earlier this year. We are a fund of funds platform focused exclusively on Asia and predominantly in the fund vehicle. We was started by myself, and as Aaron said, I was formerly with Hellman & Friedman and McKinsey in Asia. I'm joined by 2 other co-founders, Lori Wong, who was previously a general partner at Pacific Venture Partners, and Rebecca Xu, who was formerly the head of Asia Fund of Funds for the IFC. We're headquartered in Hong Kong. We're currently investing our first fund, Asia Alternatives Capital Partners 1. That fund will invest in Pan-Asia, from Japan, Korea, Greater China, Southeast Asia, and India, and we'll also invest in the full range of types of funds, growth and expansion, buyout, venture, as well as distressed debt.
Thank you very much, Melissa. And Jeff Manzacani joins us from Kexner.
Jeff Manzacani, as Aaron said, I'm a consultant with Cambridge Associates, and we're a global investment advisory firm. We work with approximately 700 clients, institutions, and some family offices, and advise approximately $700 billion in assets. We have approximately 150 consultants, and about 30 or 40 of those worldwide are dedicated exclusively to private equity, which would include the private equity buyouts, distressed investments, as well as venture capital. My role in that is, again, I'm a specialist consultant, and I work exclusively with clients in helping them build their private equity portfolios, and am a member of the Asia Research Committee, which obviously focuses on funds that are investing in Asia. And in working with a lot of large institutional investors, as you can imagine, we're all in this room because all they want to talk about is Asia and all the opportunities they're in, and to a certain extent other emerging markets, but I think the one that's really on the tip of everybody's tongue and where they see a lot of opportunities is in Asia. So the extent to which we can derive some information from this conference and share some of our knowledge, we appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Jeff. And to Jeff's left is Jason Zhang from Stanford University, obviously one of the premier endowments, and also very active globally. So Jason, thank you.
Thank you. My name is Jason Zhang. I work for Stanford Management Company. Obviously, we're part of the Stanford University. We're responsible for managing the Stanford endowment. The way we invest is sort of like investing fund of funds. We're like a fund of funds, primarily investing funds across the globe, across asset classes. My particular responsibility is Asia, so I focus on Asia, mostly the emerging markets like China, India, across all asset classes. Again, it's primarily through funds. However, Asia is kind of the emerging market. We're not trying to fix ourselves on just a particular strategy. And so for Asia, I think we're also going to look at direct investment opportunity as well.
Excellent, thank you. And to Jason's left is Gary Bridge of Horsley Bridge. Gary, if you could introduce yourself and Horsley Bridge, and then Gary has about 10 slides that he's going to walk us through to give us some additional perspective on where Horsley Bridge has been focused on in Asia.
Thanks, Aaron. Gary Bridge, my name, Horsley Bridge Partners. Horsley Bridge was started 23 years ago to provide private equity coverage for pension funds, endowments, foundations, family offices, and those are our clients today. We've raised 8 fund of funds from 1985 when we raised our fund of funds number 1, 8 U.S. fund of funds with a sweet spot being venture capital in the U.S. We've raised 3 international fund of funds. The first fund of funds was raised in 1998, and that fund invests in internationally, but in both venture capital, growth situations, and selected buyouts. We have about $7 billion of committed capital that has been committed in our behalf to invest. And as I said, our clients, we count endowments, foundations, corporate pension funds, and family offices. Some of those clients that we have, LPs that we have been with us from day one and continue to invest with us. So what I'll do is sort of give you a little story about our venture into China and when we began, and some thoughts that hopefully will generate some questions and make the panel more interesting for everyone. It's here, and it's for real. It's now the number 4 economy in the world in terms of GDP. You know about the growth rates. There's one error on that second bullet in China that had, at a minimum, 8 firms in Beijing's Silicon Valley equivalent, 2,000 being formed each year. 4 million college graduates. What I'm going to do now is just spend a few minutes telling you about our journey from the beginning. We found opportunities that we thought were the time to be serious about Pan-Asian. Patience. Just quickly running through some items of imperative. The U.S., we've always lived by a very simple equation. We really need to know the GPs before the fundraising. It's really too late to get a real comfort level. Favorable image. Again, that respect and mutual trust. The final slide here, I kind of wish I hadn't done it, but it's already here.